The Prophet said there are three things which open the door of God's mercy upon a believer. First is fear of God in public and in private. Not fearing God only when people are around you, not behaving properly only when you are before people, but even when there's nobody to see you, when you're alone. Fearing God even in those moments. The second is to be truthful in a state of anger and in a state of calmness. Often when we are angry, what we do is we exceed the bounds of justice. We say anything which we feel we should say to demean the other person who is before us, to reject the other person whom we are angry with. So being truthful in anger is another very important aspect or attribute or quality of a believer. Third is moderation in poverty and in wealth. This is also extremely important because when we tend to have a lot of money, a lot of wealth, we end up becoming spendthrifts. We end up wasting a lot of money in extravagance, in unnecessary expenditure. So God Almighty has discouraged it in the Quran. He has said that those who spend a lot of money are equivalent to brothers of Satan. So these are three things which a believer has to follow, and three very important aspects which he has to bear in mind and not adopt in his life are, first of all, not being greedy, not becoming extremely self-oriented and wanting everything for your own self. Greed is extremely discouraged in Islam. The second thing which is discouraged by the Prophet is that a person should consider a lot about himself, or this is something similar to arrogance. You feel that you are the person who has everything because he has attained it due to his own achievement. You attribute everything to yourself. Every achievement is yours, every distinction is yours, and you feel that you are superior to others. And the third is following your own desires. So reckless following of your desires is also something that leads you to the path of ruin. You have to control your desires, and we all have to bear in mind whether we are following this hadith, whether we are adopting the principles mentioned here. These are principles of a spiritual life, and if there is any particular principle which we are not following, or if there is any particular attribute or quality which we find in ourselves that the Prophet or God has discouraged, then we should try to eliminate it from ourselves. We have to think about it, we have to reflect on it, and try to overcome all such qualities.